Welcome back to Max's Finish a Challenge 2016, where every week I review something that I finished, finally, because I used to be really bad about finishing things, and I come back to YouTube, gather my thoughts, and give you what I thought about that particular anime, book, game, and such. Generally, I like to do like a little bit of a build-up, so I'm like, yeah, hype, let's do this, let's jump in. Also, my hair is super puffy today because I actually have like glam rock hair. Did you know that? Fun fact. Oh man! White Snake! Oh man, I miss the old glam rock days. Basically the inspiration for JoJo. But anyhow, generally I give myself like a little bit of a running start so I get all hyped up and ready to do the review. This week, just like last week, I'm doing it really casual. Talking about last week, I finally sat down, we read 4 books together. Books 1 through 4 of Sword Art Online, the light novel, the source material from which the anime was adapted. And last week, we finally reviewed the anime. If you would like to check it out, there should be an annotation on the screen right now. I do a really deep analysis of the story, comparing it to the original source material. And this week, we're going to be reviewing another anime! And I'm gonna just say this right off the start, just to make sure that this is really clear. You know what you're in for, I know where I'm in for, and we're both pretty clear on that, okay? You're an adult, you can make your own choices. I didn't like Attack on Titan, so if that somehow bothers you, or you think that that would somehow make you feel defensive, or make you feel unhappy, or make you angry, I give you all the power in the world to turn off this video and go watch something else. You just opened this video to know what I thought about Attack on Titan, so that's what I'm going to do. My opinion, my bias, how I feel about it, okay? You know what you're in for, I know what I'm in for, we're both very clear on that. I'm gonna give you my opinion, and nothing but my opinion. I feel that I have to be honest, because if you come here and I just kinda like tune down my opinion just because I don't want to ruffle people's feathers, then what am I doing? Am I actually being honest? No, I pride myself in honesty and transparency. So I'm gonna tell you what I actually, truly, honestly thought about Attack on Titan, which is what we're reviewing this week. Tonight, on the Finish It Challenge, the Superman paradigm, the fantasy of the perfect Japanese wife, and more. This is Attack on Tone. So let us dive right in. What is Attack on Titan? Attack on Titan is a 25-episode anime based on the manga of the same name. The story follows from the point of view of Eren Yeager, a young man living in a world where all of humanity is living inside of an enormous walled city. Beyond the walls exist enormous creatures known as Titans, which nearly forced humanity into extinction 100 years prior. The story proper follows from Eren's perspective, as the Titans return in full force and threaten to once again erase humanity from the face of the earth. Also, I nearly forgot to mention, that's gonna be spoilers. Generally, I have like a spoilerific end slate, and I'm gonna have, the end slate's still gonna be around after the credits. And I'm gonna basically mostly talk about the things that really truly killed me that are just really super spoilers, especially for beyond season 1 of the anime. So, that's there. But there's still gonna be spoilers. I have to talk about things. I have to talk about Eren, I have to talk about Sasha, I gotta talk about everybody, okay? It's hard for me to not actually say spoilers, so if you would be interested in checking out this anime, there's a link to it in the description down below. I recommend that if you would like to know what I'm talking about before I talk about it, go watch it. It's 25 episodes, you're probably not gonna have a good time, but hey, that's just how I feel about things. Let's take it from the top. What were the good things about Attack on Titan? Alright, so real talk. The animation in Attack on Titan is actually super good. The animation is kind of like obscene, not only because there's gore and blood and violence, and it does it so really well. The show does not shy away from having gore on screen, which I appreciate, especially considering the subject matter. It would feel really weak if, like, a Titan picks up a person and, you know, chews them up and you don't actually see any of that gore. It would actually be kind of a dissonance in the tone. Thankfully, it goes all the way. Legitimately good animation, and I love the kind of, like, muted 2012 first-person shooter sort of palette where everything is kind of brown. I actually really like that. I like it because it makes sense for the setting and the world around them. So yeah, the animation is really good. You know what else is really good? The opening theme. Oh god! The opening theme for Attack on Titan, go look it up. It's literally the best opening thing of all time. That opening theme, like, I knew the opening theme before I watched the anime. Like, the instant that was released into the internet, I watched it and I'm like, I don't know what this anime is about, but this opening theme is freaking hyped! Oh! I listened to that opening theme while working out. I've said this point tons of times, but like, whenever I want to get ready to write a book, I just put on music and listen to songs and imagine my characters, like dancing or shooting the music video. Imagining my characters shooting the Attack on Titan opening is literally what gets me the most hyped to get into writing. So no, yeah, that opening theme, also the second opening theme is also okay, but like the first one is just so good. There's no way that you can like top that. So yeah, the opening theme, the first opening theme for Attack on Titan is actually super duper good! Which is a little bit unfortunate considering that the actual subject matter of the anime was not very much to my liking. Let's talk about the bad stuff about Attack on Titan! Starting with a little bit of a disclaimer. When I watched this anime, I sat down, I literally dragged Kitty, my best friend, and we're like, we need to watch this anime. Because if we don't watch it now, we're never gonna watch it. So let's do it. Let's do it for the Finish It challenge. Let's do it for us. Let's experience this anime that we have heard so much about. Kitty had actually seen the first 9 episodes of the anime. So she already knew that it wasn't very, it had particular problems within its storytelling. But it was her immediately disliking it that made me give it the benefit of the doubt. When I came into Attack on Titan, I gave it all of the benefit of the doubt. When I read a book, whenever I pick up something, I like to give the author the benefit of the doubt. Whoever made it, because clearly you have spent more time making this world, these characters, clearly you probably know more than I do. So I want to see how you pull things off. I trust in the writer until they give me a reason to not trust them anymore. And for this anime, it was like the first 4 episodes. But just to be really clear, like, I didn't come into this anime being like, it's garbage, let's make fun of it. Yeah, let's laugh at how terrible it is. Kitty disliking it actually made me defend this anime for like the first 5 episodes or so. There are really good things. There are good things in here that have so much potential, but it is because they have potential and it's never like fulfilled that makes it a lot more unsatisfying. This part here is actually really hard. It's hard for me to like go over the big strokes, so let's take it character by character basically. So let's dive right in. The biggest complaint in Attack on Titan is definitely character. Like, and you know me, like, this is a writing advice YouTube channel. Like, I talk about writing advice and my particular beliefs, and I believe that character is at the center of storytelling. The storytelling is made, the good kind of storytelling is made of characters taking action, making choices, and facing the consequences of said choices. That is how characters change, develop, and move the story forward. Plot is not about events. It's about people causing events to happen. That's exactly how history, how storytelling, how our entire culture is structured. Things didn't just happen, people made it happen. That's how it works. And Attack on Titan has no character. And it's hard for me to say this, because it started out so promising. Let's start with the big one. Eren Yeager. Eren Yeager, the main character, it starts out really promising. And I'm gonna be just real talk right now. When I first saw him, when I first saw his struggle, I liked him. I really liked him. You know why? I am so effing tired of anti-hero characters. I'm tired of characters who don't care about the status quo. I'm tired about characters who are just like, ugh. I'm tired of Wolverine. I'm tired of New Age Batman that is just like, ugh, I don't care about anything. Ugh, I'm so dark and mysterious. Ugh, I don't care. But seeing Eren being determined, Eren starts out the story being all about that he wants to kill Titans. They ruined his life. They brought his life to an end. Everything that he knew and he cared about, his life, his home, his friends, most of them dead by Titans. And that pushes Eren into the brink of taking action. Eren starts out being full of determination, and determination is amazing. You know why? Because when a character has determination, they push things forward. They take action. They make choices, and they push whatever agenda they have. That's good stuff. When a character has determination, the story can go anywhere you want it to. The worst thing is to have a story in which your main protagonist has no determination. What are they doing? Nothing, because they don't want anything. What does Eren want? He wants to stop all of the Titans. And this is good, because he wants something, and he's gonna do everything he can to make it happen. Having a character with determination is nothing if the character doesn't face trials. Yo, guys, let's be real. Eren faced nothing. And throughout the course of 25 episodes, Eren didn't change. And the worst thing is this, and it's weird because I was spoiled on this because pop culture. And I said spoilers, so here it goes. Eren has the super duper secret power of turning into a Titan. And that is the dumbest thing of all freaking time. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because Titans are an impossible problem. Titans are worse than zombies because zombies you can outlive. Zombies you can outrun. That's why all zombie stories are not about zombies, they're about people. But Titans are impossible to stop, almost impossible. They put you in that situation where you as the viewer are like, I don't know how they're gonna fix this. And you have this impossible problem. And what happens with Eren? Eren has all the determination. Eren wants to change the world. And he, without trying, is given all of the abilities to change the world. Like, Eren by himself could stop all the Titans. Given enough time, he would. So you know how that made me feel? Like, imagine this table full of ideas and concepts, and I'm like, oh, this could happen. Oh, and what if they did this? And what if they teamed up together? Oh, but what if this happened too? And it's the idea of facing a problem that is so much greater than yourself. It's almost like the concept of like the unknown or the Cthulhian horror. It's something that the human brain cannot process them itself. Titans don't make sense. There are creatures that might as well be acts of God. And there's this table full of ideas and concepts. And Eren gaining the powers of a Titan is literally looking at the table and just take all of that off. All those possibilities, all those ideas don't matter. Why? Because Eren, without trying hard, without facing any sort of obstacles or changing, has gained the power to change the world. This is what I like to refer to as the Superman paradigm. Superman is a really boring character. He is downright basically like a snooze fest. I don't like Superman. Why? Because Superman carries with him a couple of problems. If Superman actually cared, he would fix all the problems in the world. Because he can. Because he's got the power set to fix all of the problems in the world. Eren is the same way. Eren has the power set to kill all of the Titans. He can literally do that. Given enough time, he would. Now, that's nice and all, Max, but what does this actually mean for the story? Well, part of the Superman paradigm is that when you introduce somebody who's just so freaking powerful, the only way that you can have situations in which anything is at stake is by introducing antagonists that have that exact power set, but are just like 5% stronger. And that's what happens in Attack on Titan. Because another person who can turn into a Titan shows up. And it's literally the Superman paradigm. The instant I saw this, I'm like, this is literally like Superman all over again. These are all the things that make Superman boring. Eren has no threats, nothing scares him, nothing gets in the way, he has no reason to change, no reason to develop. It's just really unsatisfying. And it hurts me. Because when I first saw the show, I was like, I like this kid. He's got determination. And when they show him crying because he feels just so powerless, I like that, and it hit me a little bit, because everyone can relate to that. But I can't relate to Superman or to Eren Yeager after he gets the power to basically change the world single-handedly. And from there on, he faces no challenges. He stomps everything that shows up in his way. Now, I know that was really long-winded, but that's because he's the main character, and it pains me to see someone with so much potential just basically be like, nah. But I'm gonna let that slide, considering the later on points of the story, and everyone else who can turn into a Titan. I assume that it was there from the beginning, so I let that slide. I don't like it, but I let it slide. There are bigger problems in this freaking anime. But before I get there, I want to talk about one thing, because I'm gonna just go on and on about the complaints, and I can do that for days. But there's one thing that I want to talk about because it gave me a glimmer of hope. There is one character in this entire 25 episode journey that actually changes, that actually sees an obstacle and has to overcome it by changing the way that storytelling works. And it is the most inconsequential, pointless character, and it kills me. It's freaking Armin. There's a moment in which Armin has to defend Mikasa, and Eren, not with fighting, not with his fists, with his words. We get a nice meaty flashback in which Armin talks about how he never had to deal with any problems because he had Mikasa and Eren to defend them. And there comes to the point in which he has to defend them. Right now, I'm getting like that nice sensation all over my face when you're seeing something exciting. You know why? Because Armin's gotta change. Armin stands up before this crowd of people who are ready to shoot Eren, and he puts his goddamn hand in that stupid salute, and he gives a freaking good speech! Good stuff. That's what character's made of right there. He changes. He realizes, I have to be stronger if I want to protect my friends. They've protected me all of my life, and it is time now for me to defend them. And Armin is literally the most useless character in this story. It pains me. It pains me because that glimmer of hope, I was watching it, and Kitty can attest to this. I was watching it, and I'm literally on the edge of the sofa watching it, and I'm like, this is good. Give me this. This is literally what I came here for. And that's the only time that this ever really actually happens. From there on, it's just like people reacting to Titans, which is a little bit of a problem. I was talking with Kitty about this, and honestly, real talk here, like real talk, I feel like this story would have been a lot better if our point of view wasn't Eren, but actually Jean Valjean. I wish that Jean had been the point of view, because Jean is he's kind of useless. He's kind of a moron, and he's also kind of like bitter and jaded, and that's the perfect point of view. Someone who's not perfect, someone who doesn't have the power to change the world, someone who actually has to fight to actually survive. So, there are 2 more characters that I want to talk about. One of them I want to talk about actually in the end slate, but let's talk about the worst character, because Eren is bad. Eren has potential, and he's just ruined. But there's one character in this story. There's one character who is so bad, who is so terribly awful to the tone of the story, that every time she is on screen, the story gets literally worse. And that character is Sasha. Sasha is a comic relief character in a dark fantasy setting. Imagine the Game of Thrones if it had a comic relief character who does nothing but talk about food and complain about how they're hungies. I hate Sasha so much. You know why? Because I feel like Sasha was on her way to a slice of life anime and took the wrong turn. Because Sasha doesn't belong in this world. And the instant she's introduced, and she's literally standing before a bunch of soldiers, and she's just eating, and the commanding guy is like, he literally goes, "What the F is your problem? We're standing at attention at your graduating ceremony. Why are you eating a freaking potato?" It felt as though even the characters in that world went, "What the hell is your deal?" You know what gets me? What gets me is that there are moments in this story that actually like pull at your heartstrings. There's a moment in which a character talks about how they want to commit suicide because they can't stand watching their friends die anymore. And I'm like, this is dark, this is good, keep going, this is the tone of the story. No, why is the camera panning to Sasha? No, don't do this to me. And it cuts to Sasha, and you know what she's doing? She's like sitting on the ground going, I'm hungry. When are we gonna get some food? Literally a guy talking about suicide, which is not a light subject. Just cut, like, to me, and Kirin and I were talking about this, and it feels what we like to refer to as the concept of no balls. It feels as though the story was too dark, so we have to just have this comic relief character because otherwise people are gonna get too sad. And I hate that because that shows that they had no balls. Commit to your theme. God damn it. Imagine Game of Thrones with that comic relief character. So, I did not really like Sasha. And I know that a bunch of people on Twitter were like, yo, but she's so harmless. I disagree. She is super harmful to the story and to the tone of the story, to the extent that every time she's on screen, the story just falls apart. What? We're preparing the fences? What is Sasha doing? Oh, she's got a huge ham under her jacket. Isn't that just wonky? So let's talk about something else for a moment. What is a story without characters? A story without characters that you care about, that you're rooting for, that you're at least interested in seeing what happens to them. Without them, the story is just a connection of events that are loosely interconnected. But it's just that. It's just events. And it almost feels like a slideshow of things that are happening, as though you're reading a history book that is focusing on events as opposed to people, you know? Because if I don't care about the characters, if I don't care about the struggles, the things that they're doing, and their beliefs and their friends and their relationships, then I don't really care about them. And by extension, I don't really care about the story. In writing, you want to root for people, even if it's rooting for the bad guy, like in a slasher flick. You want to just be there and go, yeah, do this. I am becoming emotionally invested in the story. And Attack on Titan just never ever resonated with me. Like, I was interested in Eren, and someone out there is gonna say, and I'm just gonna talk about this right now, but Max, Eren had to change when he realized that he didn't know how to use the omnidirectional gear. No, he didn't, because that was not his fault. When I watched that episode, I'm like, yeah, tell me that Eren he is unable to use this gear, because that is literally putting an enormous stone gate on his plans. And seeing him break and cry was really good, because that's how characters change. But then you realize that it wasn't actually his fault. He's actually the best at it. And his gear was just faulty, and I was sinking into the chair because I was just so disappointed. That for me was the beginning of the end. The very first time in which Eren faced any sort of obstacle, and it turned out it wasn't even his fault. Now, I can go on for days about why the characters of Attack on Titan are not very effective, but I'm not. Instead, I'm actually just going to be talking really quickly about a couple of other things that make the anime not very enjoyable. A lot of footage gets reused over and over and over again. There are episodes in which the first couple of minutes are a recap of how the world works, then the opening theme, and then recap of the last couple of episodes, to the extent that there are times in which the first 5 minutes of the anime is all just recap, and that's 5 minutes out of 21. We're talking about the third of an episode just thrown out the window just to give you recap. That's not very effective. Also, the Titans are a mess because they introduce them as being these mysterious creatures, and then they explain everything about them, and they're still acting as though they don't know, except we know all of the rules about Titans. It's a bit of a problem. Additional to that, there are flashbacks that are spread all over the action, like nothing breaks the flow of things happening, like just sending us back into the past. Also, there's a really infamous moment in which there's a flashback inside of a flashback, and that is just ridiculous right there. And the last complaint that I have regarding this anime is that nothing is really resolved by the end. I know that manga is still ongoing, and it will still be ongoing for years to come, but like, I was hoping that there would be some sort of resolution. When the final episode ends, there is no resolution. Nothing. I don't know anything about the basement. I don't know anything about Eren's powers. Nobody really actually changed or developed. And even the person who was kind of like the big bad of the last half just turned to crystal and shut the hell up. So I'm just sitting here like, I learned nothing. I don't know anything about this world, and I have more questions than anything else. But unlike Sword Art Online, I wasn't excited to learn the answers, I was just really confused by the end. And talking to coming to the end of things, let's talk about the award. Every episode I like to give whatever I'm reviewing an award to kind of summarize how I feel about it. And for you, Attack on Titan, I forget your Japanese name. I have an award just for you. And it goes a little bit like this. I give to you the worst instance of a comedy relief character ever award. I hate Sasha. I hate Sasha with a goddamn passion. You know why? Because she would fit in any slice of life anime. And here's the dealio. Attack on Titan takes itself super seriously, but it doesn't have the balls to actually commit to that theme and that world. The fact that Sasha exists is just so contradictory to everything else. Seriously, I don't hate Sasha as a person. She doesn't belong in this world, that's all. I don't see how this world of cruelty and sadness can create a character who's basically just a meme. I wanted to take Attack on Titan seriously. I wanted to take it super seriously. When it showed me this dark setting with a lot of murder and unhappiness and people having to face the cruelty that is nature, I was excited. I was like, yeah! I love this sort of theme. Commit to this setting and I'm with you. I will follow you till the ends of the earth. But it doesn't. It doesn't commit. It shows people committing suicide, but then it just cuts to dumb jokes. And there are just a bunch of moments of strange contrast between like people being murdered, family members dying, and then random things like Sasha or like, oh, Levi loves cleaning. Isn't that funny? Because he's a soldier. Also, I don't actually get the whole deal with Levi. I don't know why people love Levi, because he's just the guy doing his job. Like, I never saw anything where I was like, oh yeah, you're something else. He's just a jobber. It's a guy doing his job. What's so special about that? But anyways. I'm going in too deep. The thing is this. I wanted to care about this anime. I wanted to like it. I wanted to like this world because it seemed really interesting and really cool. But it didn't commit to its themes. It didn't commit to its characters. And at the end of the day, I've said it 1,000 times. I'm gonna say it again. If I don't care about the characters, do I really care about the world? The answer is no. Like, the answer is absolutely not. Especially because Eren has the power to change the world. He can literally end everyone's problems. He can. He's got the power to do so. So why should I be concerned? He's going to overcome every obstacle that comes his way, because he always has, and he always will. It's the problem with Superman, and why the only exciting thing you can do with Superman is kill him. I already said this, but wouldn't it be amazing if Eren just freaking dies? Imagine Eren dies, and now the story is about Sean. Yeah! Sign me up! Oh man. It's funny that I give Sasha so much hate, but Connie is literally non-existent. His last name might as well be Connie Nobody. Coney Nobody and Marco Deadman. Anyways, I've gone on way too long. I want to thank you for watching. I hope that you're not writing angry comments on the comment box right now as we speak. I can't stop you. But hey, that's life. That's my opinion. That's how I felt about this anime. I gave it a try. Like, I hope nobody out there is like, you didn't give it a try, Max. Oh, trust me. I gave it the biggest try in the world. Even when my best friend was like, no, Max, this is not good. I'm like, no. I'm gonna give this a try. I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt until it proves to me that it doesn't deserve it. And it didn't deserve it, but hey, that's life. Anyhow, for the time being, if you would like to check out the thing that I reviewed today, there should be a link to in the description down below, as well as the item I'm going to be reviewing next week. This time around, it is actually totally a mystery item because I don't know what's gonna be in there next week. I have a bunch of things that I finished, and I don't know in what order I'm gonna be publishing the review, so mystery link! Go check it out in the description down below. For the time being though, I would love to hear what you have to say about Attack on Titan. Have you seen it? Have you read the manga? I reached out to a bunch of my friends and they were all like, nah, don't read the manga. So, which was a little bit disheartening. On being completely honest, like 100% honesty, I'll probably read it anyway, once it's finished. There's no way I'm picking up a manga that still has like 3 years left. But once it's done, I'll pick it up and I'll read it. Probably, yeah. I can make that promise. But if you have read it and you would like to let me know ahead if it's worth my time or not, please let me know in the comments down below. I would actually really appreciate it. But for the time being, again, thank you for watching, thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me, and let's make 2016 the year about finishing things. Alright? Alright. And so, welcome back to the spoilerific end slate. I'm your host, Kirin. Attack on Titan. Oh man, I wasn't looking forward to this review. No, I hate giving negative reviews, especially when it's stuff that I know some of my followers and friends like. I give it a try though, the setting is really cool. I just wish the characters weren't so bland. I was talking with people like Kendra, and they were like the coolest thing for me was the fandom and the cool theories and the headcanons that they came up with, and I'm like, that's cool. But, without that, I kind of feel like the anime is just kind of meh. There was one thing I want to talk about, and I wanted to save it for this because this can go on forever, and really, if it's too long, I'll just cut it. But let's talk about Mikasa. Eren was a disappointment. I think Mikasa was the biggest disappointment. And people out there were like, but Max, even Kitty was like, Mikasa's good. And then I broke it down for her. Mikasa is an enormous problem. Mikasa is not really a character. Mikasa is an idea. Mikasa is a fantasy. She is the concept of a perfect Japanese wife. Yamato Nadeshiko. The first instant I saw her, and I realized that she had no personality, and she was beautiful and tough and really interesting, and was really committed, and was seen not heard. I realized she's just a fantasy. Mikasa has nothing outside of Eren, which is really weird because the one time that people ask her if she's with Eren, she just got flustered and said that it wasn't like that. It was weird because people shouted at me and they're like, Max, Mikasa is a strong female character. She's certainly female and she's certainly strong, but those two traits alone do not a good character make. The issue that I have with Mikasa is that the instant I saw her, I saw through the layers, and I'm like, you're a fantasy. You're not a real person. Mikasa has nothing outside of Eren, you guys. No hobbies, no interests, not even friends. I feel she just hangs out with Armin because Armin hangs out with Eren. What is Mikasa about? What makes her happy? Can you even describe her outside of her physical capabilities and her job? No. What is she? What goes on in her head? I don't know. And the whole idea that this story is a romance between Eren and Mikasa is just ridiculous for me. Because Eren never, not once throughout 25 episodes, shows affection for Mikasa. And let's not forget that he tried to kill her when he was a monster, and he has shown that he is aware when he's a monster. Now, you may be saying to yourselves, Max, that's an exaggeration. And you know what? It kind of is. There was one moment in the story, though, that literally made me go, yep, Mikasa is Eren's wife. Is Eren's fantasy of a wife. You know why? There was a moment in which Eren is knocked out, and Eren is in basically a Titan coma. And Eren is imagining his life the way that it was. The way that back when things were perfect, when everything was in its right place. And in this vision, in this dream sequence where Eren sees his perfect life, he's just chilling on the sofa, his dad is reading a book, and you know what Mikasa's doing in this fantasy? You know what Mikasa, the person closest to him, is doing in this fantasy life in which everything is perfect? She's washing dishes. That's all she is. The thing that killed me the most about Mikasa is that she's really cool. She's really interesting. God damn it, is she cool. Man, she's so cool. I know nothing of her. What does she care about? What are her values? Is there anything that she's really interested in outside of Eren? Because here's the dealio. When she literally becomes the coolest, most awesome scout ever, and they're like, you can join any group you want, Mikasa, because you're so freaking cool. She turns to Eren and goes, I'll go wherever you go, because I don't have a personality. I'm just a fantasy. It kind of hurt me. It hurt me really bad, because I'm like, I thought you were so cool. And the instant I broke it down in front of Kitty, she was like, God damn it. It's like as though she finally woke up from the dream. Talking about flashbacks and dream sequences, I'm gonna tell you right now, I would cut a lot out of this anime, but there's one thing that I would just rip out of I would cut the DVD. The flashback in which we learn how Eren and Mikasa met is literally the worst thing of all time. It's such a 13-year-old boy concept, because Eren, and it's implied through their dialogue that this is the first time he has met Mikasa, realizes, because he's visiting with his dad who's a doctor, or so he claims to be, really. He goes to do a medical checkup and finds Mikasa's parents dead. And now, Eren, being a 9-year-old boy, is presumed, if not younger, proceeds to go looking for Mikasa and murders 2 adults to try and save her. The problem with this scene, and why it bothers me a lot, is that this scene feels like an after-the-fact thing. It feels as though, well, we already implied that these 2 kids are together. We have to justify it. And how can we justify someone being in love with someone else? Well, clearly this person saved her from being sold into sexual slavery. It's not good. You know why it's not good? Because this feels, I've said in the past, good storytelling feels like seeing an arrow hit a bullseye. Because you go, arrow, bullseye, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, hits, everything makes sense. The connection, the starting, the ending point all makes sense. Bad storytelling feels like seeing somebody shoot an arrow, and then afterwards, they draw the bullseye around it. This doesn't feel like Eren's and Mikasa's, origin story. It just feels like a story that was spun so it would make sense. Because all of this falls apart. Everything here falls apart if when Eren murders the first man and walks through the door and sees Mikasa, he realizes that she's ugly. Seriously, I was talking with Kitty and I'm like, imagine Eren stabs a guy, a 9-year-old boy stabs a grown man, looks at the door and goes, oh, she's ugly. What am I doing? I'm 9 years old. I'm a kid. I just murdered a guy. This is not something a normal person, let alone a normal kid, would do. I know it's really harsh, and I feel like I'm the harshest to Mikasa, but because she's so close. She's so cool and interesting, but there's nothing there. There's literally nothing there, and it pains me. Because I look at Mikasa and I'm like, if you showed me your values, if you showed me what you care about, I would be all over this character concept, but there's nothing there. There's literally nothing there. It pains me. Also, that origin story is just so bad. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, it pains me so bad. There are times when I finish watching that and I'm like, Kitty, let's pretend this never happened ever again, please. There are times when I'm like, showing too much. I did not need to see this. I would have been happier wondering to myself how they met. Maybe they just lived next door. Maybe there was something cool. Maybe it wasn't the fact that Eren murdered 2 adults. Oh, my heart. It's just so bad. And I know that someone out there's gonna be like, you're over-analyzing it too much, Max. You're supposed to turn off your brain when you're watching anime. I recently, a few weeks back, I made a vlog called Reading Like a Writer, and I can't turn these things off, you guys. I write books for a living. I'm all about character and storytelling. I can't turn this off. So when I see a character that is not written well, and it's just potential that is wasted, I can't turn that off, and I assume that you're tuning into this to see my analysis and to see how I think, and I hope that if anything, I've shown you my point of view. Again, don't take it personal. I don't know. Every time I post a review, someone out there yells at me, so I figure someone's gonna yell at me this time. It's all fine. We're all different people. You may not understand it, but at least I do. For the time being though, that's all I gotta say. It feels really good to get this out of my chest because man, this has been killing me forever. I was dreading I finished this anime like 2 months ago, but I kept pushing it back because I just didn't want to talk about it. But yeah, anyways, I hope that you liked it, and I hope that if anything I showed you another point of view. For the time being though, thank you for watching, thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me, and I'll see you on the next adventure.